Hi everyone, Vito is here to give you a little lesson with the loom knitting stitch that I invented. And we're enjoying the weather here in Arizona. It's a spring day, it's beautiful, we have the windows open, the sun is shining, gorgeous temperature. Yes, but you are in the way and now you have to move. Thanks for joining us, buddy. You need to move. Okay, go jump on the windowsill. Go, yeah. So this is the tiny heart stitch. And if you can see it, I've got a little bit of brightness. I might have to calm this down a little. There we go. That's a little bit better. This is the tiny heart stitch. You can see, if you can see behind the cattail, you've got the little base of the heart, and then you've got the little tops of the heart that loop around. It's a pretty tight little stitch. Here's the back of it, so you can see how snug it is. If you want a nice blanket or a project that you don't want a lot of gap in, you want to be pretty warm and pretty dense, this is a good stitch to use. It's really easy to do. It looks really cute. So without further ado, I am going to start with a little instructional video. The tiny heart stitch, it's a really easy stitch to do. It's just a combination of two rows, and you saw a picture of it on the intro to this video, so we'll just get right to it. You're going to start your project with a stitch or a knit that I call a purl over. Hopefully you're familiar with the traditional purl stitch on a loom knitter, around or long like this. Vito, move. Stop it. I'm going to show you how to do what I call a purl over. So we're going to grab our working yarn. You hear that purring? That's his little motor going off because Mom's at an accessible place right here. What we're going to do with our working yarn, we're going to hold it in one hand. Oops. You're going to take your hook. You're going to come up from the bottom, grab your yarn, pull it down, and flip it over the peg, just like so. With a purl stitch, you would go down and then pull up. With the purl over, we're going to go up and pull down, and then purl over. We're going to up, pull down, and then purl over. Go up with your hook, pull down, purl over. Go up with your hook, pull down, purl it over. You want to snug it up so there's no gaps on either side of your peg, but you don't want it super tight. So again, we go up, we pull down, go away, Vito. We purl it over. You see the gaps here? We don't want any of that. We're going to snug it up so there's no gaps. We're going to go up, we're going to go down, we're going to purl over, and then snug it up. Now when you get to your last peg, you're just going to do a regular E-wrap knit like so. Now the next step to complete this is to do just your regular E-wrap knit all the way across. I forgot my yarn today, so I'm just going to have to wrap it with my fingers. Or I forgot my straw that I usually use. Forgot to put it on here. I'm going to have to invent something. So we wrap it, and we just do our regular E-wrap knit. Pull it over. And that's all there is to it. That's how you do the tiny heart. Now what I want to point out to you is, since this is the purl over stitch does not actually advance your yarn when you're using loom knitting, you have to remember, if you're going to combine it with other stitches, you have to combine it with stitches that have the same length as this tiny heart does. Because when you're coming up, let's show you again, we're going up, down, we're purling this over. But if you notice, the same yarn is still on the peg. We have not advanced the knitting at all. Here's this yarn. You're going to go up, down, purl over this yarn, but this is still the same yarn on your peg. You are not advancing your knitting. So when you combine a tiny heart stitch, it works pretty good with the garter stitch, which is a combination E-wrap, knit, and purl. It works well with that one. It does not work well when combined with just a plain E-wrap knit because those are pretty long and pretty loose. This comes out a little bit tighter. Again, we get to our last peg. We're just going to do an E-wrap knit. No, you can't have my yarn, Vito. And again, when we go back, we're just going to do your standard E-wrap knit. I usually don't work flat either. I usually work upside down. Here we go. And we're just going to yarn over from this end. I've got this helper. Yeah, your foot's in the way, buddy. No, we can't play right now. I'm teaching people how to do this stitch. We can play later when I'm done. You can have some yarn. How does that sound? That's it. Those are the only 2 steps. And there's your tiny heart. See? Heart goes up, comes back down, comes back down. There's your little heart. Vito, stop. Again, one more time. You can stop it here if you've got it. If you want to watch one more time, here we go. We're going to go up with our hook, pull down, purl over, and snug it up slightly. Up, down, purl over, snug, up, down, purl over, just enough to pull up the slack, up, down, purl over, up, down, purl over, up, down, purl over, oops, up, down, purl over, snug it up, and then an E-wrap knit. Alright, and then one more time, just your regular E-wrap. Like so. Usually I'm faster. And that's all there is to it. That is your tiny heart. I hope you can use this in a project. If you have any questions or suggestions, please comment and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you. Thanks for watching.